"Dad, can you play?" A daughter reveals her single dad wrote the CEO's love song 16 years ago. The first note trembled, not because the piano was old, it wasn't. The grand piano on the stage gleamed under crystal lights, polished to perfection for the charity gala hosted by Aurora Music Group. CEOs, investors, and celebrities filled the hall, whispering over champagne flutes. The note trembled because the man playing it hadn't touched a piano in 16 years. "Dad," Lily whispered from the front row, swinging her feet nervously. "You promised." Ethan Carter swallowed and nodded at his 10-year-old daughter. His hands hovered above the keys, rough from years of warehouse shifts and night jobs, fingers stiff with forgotten muscle memory. He wore a borrowed suit that didn't quite fit, his tie slightly crooked. He didn't belong on that stage. And yet, here he was. Across the room, seated at the head table, CEO Vivian Monroe froze. That melody, her breath caught as the second chord followed, then the third. No, it couldn't be. 16 years ago, she'd been a struggling intern with a notebook full of dreams and a broken heart. 16 years ago, a man had written her a song, one he'd never recorded, never claimed, never sold. A song he'd played for her once, under flickering dorm lights, before walking away forever. Vivian slowly stood. The room faded. The melody didn't. 16 years earlier, "I'm not good enough for your world," Ethan had said quietly, fingers dancing across a battered upright piano in a campus practice room. Vivian had laughed then, young and fearless. "You are my world." He hadn't looked at her. He'd just kept playing. The song poured out of him, soft, aching, impossibly tender. It spoke of waiting, of loving someone from the shadows, of choosing distance over damage. When he finished, Vivian was crying. "What's it called?" she asked. Ethan shook his head. "It's not finished." "Then who's it for?" He smiled sadly. "For the woman I can't keep." That night, he disappeared from her life. No calls, no explanations, just silence. Vivian turned pain into ambition. She buried herself in work, climbed faster than anyone expected, and built Aurora Music Group into an empire. But she never forgot the song. She'd searched for it everywhere. And now, here it was. Back to the present. The audience sat spellbound as Ethan played, unaware of the storm unraveling inside one woman. Vivian walked toward the stage, heels silent against the marble floor. Her heart pounded with every step. "That's impossible," she whispered. Lily glanced back, spotted the elegant woman approaching, and smiled brightly. "That's my dad's song." Vivian stopped cold. "Your dad?" "Yes." Lily beamed. "He wrote it before I was born. He plays it when I can't sleep." Ethan's fingers faltered for half a second when he saw Vivian standing just a few feet away. Their eyes met. 16 years collapsed into a single breath. He finished the song. The final note lingered, trembling in the air, then vanished. Silence. Then thunderous applause. Ethan stood awkwardly, nodding at the crowd, his cheeks flushed. He looked down at Lily, who clapped harder than anyone. "Dad, you did it." Vivian stepped onto the stage. Gasps rippled through the hall. "Sir," she said, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes, "what is your name?" Ethan swallowed. "Ethan Carter." The room buzzed. Vivian's voice softened. "Did you write this song?" "Yes." "When?" Ethan hesitated. 16 years ago." Vivian closed her eyes. When she opened them, they shimmered. "For whom?" The audience leaned in. Ethan looked at Lily first, then back at Vivian. "For someone I loved enough to let go." Lily frowned. "Dad, is she the lady you never talk about?" The question sliced through the air. Vivian laughed, shakily through tears. "I guess I am." Whispers erupted. Vivian turned to the audience. That song, is the reason Aurora Music Group exists. I built everything you see tonight chasing the man who wrote it." Ethan stared at her, stunned. "I never found you," she continued. "Until now." The host stood frozen, unsure whether to intervene. Vivian didn't care. She knelt in front of Lily. "You must be the bravest girl in the world." Lily tilted her head. "Why?" "Because you brought your dad back to me." Ethan whispered. "Vivian, I didn't think." "I know," she interrupted gently. "You thought you'd ruin my life." He nodded. "I had nothing. No future. I found out I was going to be a father, and I panicked. I couldn't ask you to choose between me and your dreams." Vivian took his hands. "You never asked. You decided." "I was wrong," he said quietly. She smiled through tears. "Yes, you were." The audience was silent now, witnesses to something far bigger than a performance. Vivian stood and addressed the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, Tonight you came to hear music. Instead, you heard the truth. She turned back to Ethan. Aurora owns hundreds of love songs. But this one was never mine to buy. She extended her hand. Come home. Ethan looked at Lily. She grinned. Dad, can you play it again? But this time, don't sound sad. His hands shook as he returned to the piano. Vivian stood beside him. When he played again, the melody changed, still tender, but warmer. Hope threaded through every note. And for the first time in 16 years, the love song was finally finished.